Welcome to the fourth part of Module 12. This part is dedicated to introduce and discuss to you the important connection of the brain to the other parts of the head and visceral organs, the cranial nerves. In the brain, we can see important nerves that are part of the peripheral nervous system. They are called the cranial nerves. There are a total of 12 pairs of cranial nerves, commonly numbered in Roman numerals from 1 to 12. Please note that they are numbered according to the order in which they emerge from the brain. The olfactory nerve emerged in the most rostral part of the brain, thus they are the first pair, while the hypoglossal emerge at the caudalmost part of the brain, thus they are termed as the 12th cranial nerve. In this slide, you can see the list of 12 cranial nerves. One important thing, both in anatomy and physiology, is the identification of the nerve and its main function. Cranial nerves can be classified into three bays based on their function. They can be classified as a motor nerve, a sensory nerve, or a mixed nerve. We will locate them in this image of the brain. The olfactory nerve is the first nerve, and they are attached in the olfactory bulb. The olfactory nerve, in fact, is not a single nerve, but consists of numerous non-myelinated axons whose cell bodies are located within the olfactory epithelium. They are classified as sensory nerve. Next is the optic nerve. The optic nerve is not a true peripheral nerve but a tract of the brain. This is a sensory nerve for the sense of sight. The third is the oculomotor nerve. This is a motor nerve innervating superficial levator muscles of the eyelid and all the muscles of the eyeball except for the dorsal oblique muscle and the lateral rectus of the eyeball. The trochlear nerve is another motor nerve. It is the smallest cranial nerve and it innervates the dorsal oblique muscle of the eyeball. The fifth is the trigeminal nerve. In contrast to the trochlear, the trigeminal nerve is the largest cranial nerve. They are classified as mixed, meaning they have a motor and sensory function. This nerve is divided into three major branches: the mandibular, the maxillary, and the ophthalmic branch. Abducens nerve is a motor nerve innervating the lateral rectus muscle of the eyeball and the lateral quarter of the retractor muscle of the eyeball. The seventh cranial nerve is the facial nerve, which is a mixed nerve innervating muscles of the face like the mimetic muscles. The vestibulocochlear is the eighth cranial nerve, which is classified as a sensory nerve. They are important for balance and for hearing. The glossopharyngeal nerve has both motor and sensory functions, thus classified as mixed nerve, innervating the muscles of the pharynx, the soft palate, and the tongue. The vagus, or the 10th cranial nerve, is the longest cranial nerve. It is a mixed nerve and has a widespread distribution, innervating the viscera of the thoracic and abdominal cavities. The accessory nerve is a motor nerve innervating the extrinsic muscles of the thoracic limb like the brachiocephalicus and the sternocephalicus muscle. And finally, the hypoglossal nerve, which is a motor nerve of the tongue. For you to remember their nerve classification, there is a song which can be used to memorize their type. Se stands for sensory, mo stands for motor, while mi stands for mix. In this case, just sing se mo mi, se mi mo. And that ends our short discussion about the 12 cranial nerves. Again, it is important that you know their location in the brain as well as their major function as motor, sensory, or mixed nerve. You may now proceed to the next part of this module, which will discuss the basics of the anatomy of the spinal cord.